What up, everybody, and welcome to Late Night Live number 167. I cannot believe that it has been over a month since our last live stream. That is bonkers to me. It has been busy the past little bit. I have been rather busy. Thank you very much for your patience, everybody. But we're back for at least 1 week. We won't have a stream next week, unfortunately. I'll be out of town yet again. But this week, we are here, and we're gonna have some playtime. What's going on, Skeet? How you doing? Get warmed up really cool. Let's start the spinning top, shall we? Even though I'm pretty sure I need to set up like a top cam that sits up here and watches the spinning top just for fun. Because you can't really see it in my face cam, can you? It's so tiny. Here we go. The top is spinning for the first time in a month. One crack, that'll do. I am drinking hot chocolate today, so you can see, hot chocolate, because I have run out of both green tea and my decaf Earl Grey tea that I drink pretty much every day. I ordered some more, and it's not going to be here until Sunday, which I didn't anticipate it taking that long to get shipped to me, but there we have it. I am tealess, or decaf tealess. I have regular caf, but I don't like to write whilst drinking regular caf. Now I have to ask, because we had issues last time, is this working? I know Skeet said hello. I need somebody in the chat to tell me that you can see me and that you can hear me and whatnot. I'm nervous from previous streams where I've taken a break, come back, set everything up, and then something's not working. I want to make sure that it is in fact working. It should be working. We are live, the camera is working, everything should be good. So I'm just going on faith at the moment. And I haven't been active lately, so I don't anticipate we're gonna have a huge audience this week. It's just gonna be a chill one. Looking good. Alright, Skeet can see me. And Ojaswinny is here, there we go. All is right with the world. I have set up the stream correctly this time. What's going on, Ojaswinny? Long time no see. It's funny, I tell YouTube I want the ads to put in ads every 30 minutes. Literally, it wants to put in an ad right now. It hasn't been 30 minutes, YouTube. Chill out. Chill out your ad self. Just reached work. Welcome to work, Ojaswinny. So I didn't really have a super set out plan for today. I have been out and about, so I haven't had a really good writing session in a little bit. But then I also thought, I mean, it's not in the title of the video, but we could also dive back into Barto's signatures if we're interested in that. I know the link to that PDF is not in the description of this video, but if anybody already has the link or has already downloaded the PDF, we could do some of those if people would be interested. See how rusty I am. Hello, Panda Arana. Welcome, welcome. How you doing? I think once I finish this line of ovals, I'll do some indirect ovals real quick, and then I think I'm going to start the evening with the word of the day. since I'm behind on the word of the day, but we'll do today's word of the day. And as we get closer to midnight, maybe we'll do tomorrow's word of the day as well. Tomorrow night, we'll hopefully film a slow motion word of the day for Thursday's word of the day that I can post for Super Slow Thursday. Oh, what's going on, David? Nice to see you. That's awesome. Welcome to the live stream. I've been, as you well know, David, because you were with me in Chicago, I haven't been home for a while, and I was busy before I went to Chicago, so I haven't had a live stream. It's been over a month since I've been on here. Doing some writing. Alright, you know what? We're feeling warm. Let's dive into, I'm going to dive directly into the word of the day, which today, October 14th, is Utopia. Thank you very much, David. Yeah, it was, I had a chill time after Chicago, making my way home. Utopia. Maybe quite a tall tea. Hello, Limmer. Welcome, welcome. Salutations to you as well. Utopia. Beauty. What's another way I could do? I'll go even more. How loopy? We can go crazy loopy, I suppose, for the use, similar to what I usually do with Z's or Z's. Utopia. Beauty. The arm is feeling relatively relaxed today, which is wonderful. The past couple of days have been pretty hefty at the computer, typing and emailing and calculating and doing office work. So it feels nice to just de-office workify, we're gonna say. De-office workify. It's a real word, and if it wasn't before today, it is now. Dubbing it official. I'll start asking people, hey, people, what do you do to de-office workify at the end of the day? I'm not even, this paper does have lines, but my lighting makes it really hard to see. I'm not on a baseline at all. That's okay. It's still floating straight, so that's good news. Be a stream without writing the word curiosity. Well, hello, Marilyn. How you doing? Coffee, Ojaswini. No coffee. Too shaky. Coffee with a side of benzo. What is benzo, Marilyn? I feel like I should know what benzo is, and I don't. Which is kind of silly. Benzo. In my head, benzo is like a medication or an alcohol. And my brain is telling me it's kind of medication. I don't know an alcohol called benzo. I don't know anything called benzo. Benzodiazepine. Diazepine. Ah, understood. There we go. I figured it was a medication. Okay. Understood. I mean, that will calm you down. Or like a glass of wine. I know that's a lot of people's sort of writing thing to chill themselves out when they're de-officifying at the end of the day. They will have a glass of wine, a little bit of vino to settle the nerves and muscles. I had one good friend who used to just a beer. That was sort of the magic potion for when it was writing time. Just a beer to settle everything, and then that would relax them. I don't know if I have an intake that helps me relax like that. For needle script, you wouldn't even have to, if you had enough coffee, you wouldn't even have to intentionally put the weights down. If you were shaking enough from enough coffee, you could get we'll call it coffee script. Maybe not quite as uniform as a needle stitch script. We can do a coffee script. When I used to, there are signatures that would have underlined parts. How would they do it? I'm trying to... That's not how it looks. It's sort of like... Which is like a needle skip type thing, but I always wondered, and I still feel like if that's done at speed while, shaking, essentially... That's not how you do it. This has been years since I've explored this, but there was a way that you could do a stroke while... in dance, it would be called strobing, when you have your muscles go if you shake the things, if you were doing that dance or that technique, you could essentially shake whilst writing a straight line. And for a little bit, I feel like I could do it if memory serves, but it's been a long time. I think if there was a script that was shaky, what would we call it? Probably caffeine script, it'd have to be called. Good old caffeine script. Or coffee script, I suppose. That almost sounds like it doesn't exist in the US, but if anybody in Canada, there's a chocolate bar called Coffee Crisp, and that's a little too similar for my brain. If somebody says Coffee Script, I definitely would crave a Coffee Crisp. I had this conversation last week when I was in the US. I was buying chocolate bars with a buddy of mine, and the US is lacking, in my opinion, in the chocolate bar world. You guys are missing out on some of the best chocolate bars. You got some good ones, you got some of the staples, but you're missing some really heavy hitters in the chocolate bar world. Hello, Olivia. Long time no see. It's nice to see you. It has been a very long time. I've been a ghost yet again. I feel like I've unintentionally become a ghost a lot in the past two years, the past 2 or 3 years. I feel like, I ghost out way too often. Fully unintentionally. I do apologize. It's MrMG host. MRM ghost. MrMG ghost. MrMG host. Ghost. It's a bad joke. Sorry. I've never heard of Costanza. I'm intrigued. I have to be careful. I mean, I am a very, very big fan of chocolate and snacks and sweets and all that. I did make a bet with a friend of mine that we would lose, both of us, a specific amount of pounds, that we would each lose at least 10 pounds by the Philadelphia Pen Show on, when is that, January 15th. So I got some time, but not a ton of time. So I gotta be careful with not just my caffeine intake, but my sweet intake as well. Gotta have some self-discipline. Oh, it feels good to sit down and write. It has been too long. Far too long. Oh. Just thinking ahead in the future, so I'm going to be out of town again. I don't know if I'm going to be here for a Halloween stream. What's the closest Tuesday to Halloween this year? Skeet has a question. What's your thoughts about wax seals? I think wax seals are dope. I don't use them terribly often, but that's not their fault. That's my own fault. In fact, there are two right here. These ones are two of my, there's different sizes. These are two little bad pylon or traffic cone wax seals that I have here. A smaller one and a big one. I only ordered one, and the company that I ordered from sent me two different sizes as an accident, so that's why I have two. But like I said, I don't use them very often. I would like to use them more, and I actually want to get some. I'm working on a monogram for myself to have engraved. I would like to get some more 3D sort of ones, either hand carved or machine carved by somebody. But I think they're super cool. I think it's unfortunate that they have a really tough time going through the mail. But I will say, when I receive something in the mail that has a wax seal on it, it feels extra special. Which makes me want to use them on my own sort of correspondence and things I send. But I don't know if that means I gotta use a wax seal and then put that envelope in a larger envelope so they don't get damaged in the modern postal system. I don't know. Are you thinking about getting one, or what's your thoughts on them, Skeet? Nice to see you, Marilyn. It's been a long time. Have a wonderful evening. Your birthday, ooh, the 28th. I'm not here the 28th. I'm out of town still on the 28th. Wonder if I can set up a live stream from Germany. Is that silly? I'm gonna look into that. I'm going to message my friends in Germany. Can I live stream? I've never done a live stream from not home before. I won't have my whole setup, but maybe we can do a ghetto stream. If not a stream, we can do a... Oh, interesting. I gotta think through this some more. Now, so many ideas are popping through my head. Normally, I like to carve pumpkins. I think, was it last year? I carved a pumpkin during the live stream. But I won't be able to do that this year. But maybe we'll do something. I'll be back the Tuesday after Halloween. We could do like a retroactive, we're not ready to say goodbye to Halloween yet Halloween stream on the Tuesday after Halloween. But I guess that's quite a ways. Because Halloween... What day of the week does Halloween fall on this year? I should just look at a calendar. Look at a calendar. Answer your own questions. What do we got? Halloween is on the 31st. It's on a Friday. Also Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. The 4th. We could potentially do a Halloween-esque live stream on the 4th. Oh, that's awesome, Skeet. Hobby as in using them? Or hobby carving them? Sourcing them, finding them, collecting them? Tell me more. Oh, also, I wasn't planning to do a stream thing, but just thinking of it now. Is it in frame? My little Lego... That side. No, that side. It's not in frame. My Lego traffic cone is up there. I recently ordered a Lego kit that I'm quite excited to build. So maybe when that arrives, I will do a Lego stream. All right, Marilyn. Goodbye. I know this is a penmanship channel, but just trying to get back to just doing whatever we do on these Tuesday evenings. I built. It's just out of frame. That little Austin Mini up there. Lego. So maybe I'll build this new Lego build on stream as well. Cause why not? Cause Why not? This song is groovy. Learning to use them. Nice. They are very fun. I've been wanting to get a Hogwarts wax seal. Because every once in a while, a friend of mine will have me do, or somebody will ask me to do a Hogwarts letter in green ink for their son or daughter. And I find that very fun. But it should have a Hogwarts wax seal on it, obviously. So I thought about getting one. Hogwarts end in an S or a Z? I don't even remember. S? It's an S. Is that right? I don't even know. I'm just a muggle. It really is, Olivia. It makes a huge difference. I have conversations with non-penmanship friends of mine. When I receive mail that have wax seals, I send them photos of envelopes and whatnot when I receive them, because they're fancy to me, but they're sort of common in this penmanship world. To somebody who's a muggle to the penmanship world, wax seals are like, whoa, super cool. Your profile picture is your first wax seal. On YouTube, I'm gonna have to look at that after the stream. All I see, your profile picture to me, Skeet, is you have a blue circle with a white J. Not a snazzy image. I apologize. Ah, Facebook. Understood. I will check it out after the stream. That's dope. How long have you been into the... When did this spark your wax seal fascination or interest? And what sparked it, if you don't mind my asking, if you're willing to share? Do you think anybody has ever carved the animal, a seal, out of wax? I mean, like, look everybody, a wax seal. Probably not. Well, hello, Lurker Lori. How's it going? Nice to see you. Long time no see. That's awesome, Skeet. That's wicked. Welcome to wax seals. I'm not really in the wax seal world. I only have two, and like I said, I don't use them all that much. But I find them incredibly fascinating, and I would like to use them more. Excuse me. I want to carve them, if I'm being honest. If not me, design them and have like a CNC machine make them or something like that, or a laser engraver. Not a huge fan of laser engravers, but CNC would be cool. I carved once out of soapstone. I carved a Astro Boy head years ago. This is back in probably, when would this have been? 2000 and... no. This would have been... 2002? 2002, I think. Which, wow, that's a long time ago. Let's pretend I didn't tell that story. You need a good S for a seal. Oh, the cool thing about S for a seal is S is basically a round, or it can be, built relatively round. So you have like the basis of a round circle already, which is nice. Are you gonna go like an ornamental penmanship S, or like a fully monogrammed schnazzified S? Oh, we got an ad coming. Try that again. Ornamental, nice. What was everybody's ad about? That's sweet, Skeet. I think you could get a really nice looking S for a wax seal. That works. Well, hello, Kathy and Accidentally Steve. Long time no see. How you doing? Well, hello, Devin. Good evening, my friend. Thank you very much. Brushing the dust off. You didn't get one, Lori. Oh. Lori is What's going on, Lene? I figured I'd surprise everybody and actually do something online. For a change. Time is a construct invented by penmen so as... Oh! I didn't get to read the whole message. Oh, Kathy, congratulations. Happy birthday anniversary to you. Does both of your birthdays and your anniversary fall on the same time? I'm assuming the same block of time? You're gonna have to explain to me what birthday anniversary is. I've never heard of somebody celebrating a birthday anniversary, but I have to say, I really like saying birthday anniversary. It's very fun to put that together back to back. It's wonderful to see you, Lene. Our evening just getting started. I don't know what you're talking about. End the evening. That's possible, Lori. Maybe. Alright, we got limers full. Life is a construct invented by penmen so as to add more numbers to their correspondence letters. I feel that. Oh, nice wording. Syzygy of celebrations. Syzygy is such a fun word. A pain to write, but a fun word. We've written syzygy on here before, have we not? I'm certain we have. I should have made the G also looped. Syzygy. Maybe I'll capitalize the S, since it's the only non-descender of the group. Ugly S. Let's try that again, shall we? Syzygy. Descender. Where's Fozzie when you need her? She should be used to doing it, like doing that one. Syzygy would be just a walk in the park for Fozzie. Steve was born on the 1st, and you were the 3rd. You got married on... That's incredible. So you have 1 week. You get to celebrate your birthday anniversary. That's wicked. Well, happy birthday anniversary to you and Steve, Kathy, and happy anniversary. That's amazing. 28 years. Nice. It's a beautiful October is rather beautiful looking most places in the world. It's relatively rainy in Vancouver, unfortunately. The descent into rain season. Chicago last week was gorgeous, unseasonably nice and warm and whatnot. I feel like every single person I spoke to, either at my hotel or at the airport or at like a coffee shop, everybody said, this is not normal. It's not normally like this. It was apparently very unusual. It was gorgeous. A beautiful way to experience the city. Even though I spend most of the days indoors. But still, it's nice to wander in a nice sunny city. Does that mean we're having a blacklight party? I don't know. Too early to tell, Lene. Too early to tell. There needs to be a custom made up birthday song for birthday anniversary. Happy birthday anniversary to you. Doesn't have a great ring to it. Lori, it must be about to get to turn, no? Is it just hanging on to gorgeous, or is it gonna like pretty soon here dip into cold? I know the cold back home where my parents are has begun a little bit. Not crazy cold, but it's chilly. My parents are in Alberta, Canada. Very cold place. Not the coldest place, but it gets up there. That's awesome. I'm glad I got to take part in the good one. I think I bring the undercurve too high on my capital U for some reason. It needs to be lower. Smaller letter. Just like that. That's too low though, isn't it? Too round on the bottom. I did not go on the Riverwalk, no. I did get to do, on our lunch break, on one of the days I was there, we did do the boat tour, the architectural tour, which was really cool, and it was a beautiful sunny day. I think I might have actually got like very beginnings of a sunburn, but it was beautiful, gorgeous weather, so it was wonderful and nice and clear to see all the beautiful buildings and get the story of the Chicago architecture. And I did go to the Newberry, and I can confirm this, I will be at some point making another trip to Chicago specifically dedicated just for the Newberry, the Newberry closes pretty early, so that on that trip I'll get to be able to explore much more of the city. I had a lot of people on Instagram when I posted that I was there. Lots of, oh, did you do this? Did you see this? Did you do this? I've been in Chicago once before, years ago, but I didn't do a ton. And on this one, I didn't have a ton of time to do a ton. But I will be back because there is a lot of stuff at the Newberry. And I need to, take pictures, but also to see it all. Probably more Platt Rogers Spencer's pieces than I've ever seen in my entire life, which is awesome in one spot. It was wicked. They have a wonderful collection there. I was only there for... What time did they open? They open at 10, I believe, and then they close at 4. So I had to... it was a short trip in the library, but a lot of pictures, which I will be compiling into PDFs and sharing eventually. But it's tough to, I only had my phone, so they're not great photos. And the shadows in the reading room are, I love the Newberry, but if I had to say one bad thing about it, it's not really a bad thing, but the shadows in the reading room are horrendous. It's almost impossible to take a picture with a camera and not have a giant shadow over exactly what you're taking a photo of. So that was unfortunate. Gonna see what we can do to have the rest of or to see if we can get the rest of that collection digitized, because it's awesome and needs to be studied. But my trip there was very similar to most of my library type trips. When I go in, I sign in, I go in the reading room, and then I sit there with a camera over a table, flipping pages and snapping pictures for however many hours they'll leave me be in the building. Whether it be the New York Public Library, or the Newberry, or was it last year? Where did I go in New York? I went to another library. Another university? College? That starts with a C. I can't remember where now. I'm hoping in January to check out Pierce College as well in Philadelphia. I wasn't able to check out their stuff last year when I was there because they were in the middle of a move. So hopefully that's all done now. I know they have a bit of a collection. Not massive, but they do have some good stuff I've heard that I would love to check out. My little penmanship pilgrimages. Lori. I mean, you should check it out if you're interested. I mean, I don't hold it against anybody if you're not into going to a library and checking out old penmanship stuff. But if you are into old penmanship stuff and you happen to have a library with a collection close to you, I highly recommend checking it out. I mean, it's like the Iampith study room, but just if you're in that city, it's in your own city. My city doesn't have a collection that I know of. If it does, I haven't found it yet. But there are some good collections all over the United States. Do I have a PDF scanner on my phone? I do have a PDF scanner app, but when I take photos of things like that, I like them to be photos and not digitized to, and not scanned, because then they go full black on white. And I like to see the color of the ink and all that kind of jazz. So I just use photos. And then I take those photos on my computer and properly fix the slight orientation fix, or I gotta distort them a little bit because obviously my phone isn't always perfectly straight. So touch them up that way and then put them in a compilation. Not perfect, but the way I see it, it's better than nothing. Since a lot of people can't get to Chicago and can't see them. The perfect outcome is to convince people at the Newberry to digitize their collection and have it be available online, like a lot of the collection in Scranton, for example. Whoa, we fully missed. Scranton is completely digital, or most of what they have is digitized, which is wonderful. Trying to convince more libraries and universities to follow suit and do the same. Most of them have no idea that there's an entire community of people that are interested in studying those specific collections. To a lot of people, it's just old penmanship and doesn't really mean much. They think it's beautiful, but they don't assume a ton of people are interested in it. So once we convince them there are, then that can sometimes get the ball rolling. I have lots of good tripods, but when you're in a library, you're not allowed to bring that stuff into the reading room. You're allowed a camera only, and usually like a phone, batteries, extra things like that. When I do New York, or when I used to go in and take pictures in New York, I would have like 3 of my top-up camera, my Sony A6400, and 3 batteries constantly charging so that I could be there taking photos all day long for multiple days in a row. But yeah, you're not allowed to bring in a tripod or a full setup. And you can get them if there's one like specific thing you want to have them scan. You can get a PDF scan of it. But it costs money, and what it costs to get the whole thing digitized is way too much. So that's where I get into conversations with the sort of heads of those departments and those libraries and see what we can do. Yeah, usually when you go, because these collections are viewed in like a private reading room, so on average, like I know specifically I can speak on just the universities and colleges I've been to, but you go in, they'll seat you at a table in the private reading room. There's usually other tables in the room. They will bring you a box that you have checked out, and because it takes them some time to bring the box in from their archives. Different libraries have different how long it takes. The Newberry is relatively small of a facility, so you can just ask for something and they'll send somebody to go get it. Whereas in New York, they only do archive pulls, I think it's 2 times a day. So you have to ask for everything, and then there's certain times a day where it will be brought up from the archives. And then they bring it to you, put it at your table. You're allowed to look at the documents. You're not allowed to spread them out. It's like one at a time from the box. And then if there's folders in the box, like a folder of samples comes out, you look through it, that folder goes back in, the next folder comes out, and you have place markers and stuff. And they're watching over you from afar to make sure you're not disrespecting or damaging the items and whatnot. It is much more strict, and for good reason, but it's much more strict than, say, like the Iampith collection. Most of our stuff in the Iampith collection now is in binders and is safe, so people can flip through the binders and we don't have to be super, super cautious about things. But most things in the libraries are on like scrapbooks on crumbling paper, and things like that. So they're very cautious with them. And with all their vintage books and anything that's viewed in one of the private reading rooms in any establishment that I've been to, they're very cautious. So yeah, you're only allowed to bring in specific items. I know in New York, they're pretty strict. You have a plastic bag, and you're allowed to put like your camera, your phone, that type of stuff. You're not allowed to bring your own pencils or paper. They have that up there. I'm assuming that's so certain non-acid-free papers and stuff like that can't be left or make contact with the items. It's good. I like that they take really good care of their stuff, so that it can be viewed for years to come. I just want it to be digital as well. Do you have more clout now that you're the Iampith president? Maybe. It's not something that, I will say, it's not something I've used. It's not if I have more clout as the Iampith president, it's not something I've put into effect, or I haven't used that weight for anything. It has come up in conversations before with people, and if I was in a conversation with somebody about trying to get something digitized, I would imagine it potentially means a little bit more coming from somebody who's in that position in the association, maybe, rather than just a member. But I don't know if president versus board member or anything. Just, I think being affiliated with Iampith in any sort of capacity, even being a member, I feel like holds some degree of weight. But yeah, I imagine maybe there's some clout there. Oh, that sounds awesome. What up, GV Vool? GB Vool, sorry, I got a GB Vool, nice to see you. I know the New York Public Library has a large collection of like old illuminated manuscripts that Kahlo from Kahlo Make Art went and checked out last year, a couple years ago. Can't remember when she went to look at them. I've only ever looked at the penmanship collection there. So one of these years, when I'm in New York, if I have time, I would like to check out some other stuff, because they have other reading rooms that are dedicated to other materials and whatnot. But I'm sort of a one-track mind when I'm in there. Hello, Aditya. Was it this year? Okay, nice. I think she went last year as well. I think this might have been her second year in there. Because I'm pretty sure when we were... Where was conference last year? All the years combined. This past conference was in Norfolk, and she went to New York. The year before that, was that when we were in... Oh, shoot. I know it was a couple years ago when we were in Scranton, which wasn't it was 3 years ago? They all blend together. When we were in Scranton, I know we all took a bus to Scranton from New York. And on the way home, before or after, she would spend some time in New York at the New York Public Library as well, looking at that same stuff. I believe, if memory serves, she has a friend who's affiliated with the New York Public Library. So she was visiting them and checking out manuscripts, if memory serves. San Antonio, right. I don't think she went to New York the San Antonio year. I don't believe. I think it was Scranton and then this past year. All the years blend together. It's always been like that with Iampith for me. Every year. I remember what we did, but then I could tell a story, like 2 different stories, and in my brain they were the same Iampith, but they could have been a couple years apart. Iampith time is just Iampith time in my brain. The outside world doesn't exist, and technically, how many years has it been? 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25. It's been 13 years, but we missed one because of COVID, so it's been 12. Is that right? And then... So it's been 12 weeks. So it's been like 3 months worth of, it's neat to think of it that way. I've attended 3 months worth of 3 months-ish worth of Iampiths. Hello, Mum. Good evening to you. Or as you said, evening. Oh, let's fix that. He's a little out of control. Happy Thanksgiving to my mom and to any Canadians out there. If there's any other Canadians in the stream. I guess that was yesterday, but I can still say it. Eating. Wonderful. I think I might dive into some Bartow signatures. Maybe. Some Bartow signature challenges, perhaps? Why can't I do a good S today? The one day Skeet needs a good S and I can't do one. I make typos all the time. So I gotta take the opportunity to steal them every once in a while too, I suppose. That's a wee bit better. We're gonna do some more S's on another page before we dive into Bartow, though. Spinning top, still going. All right. What? Oh, ad coming in. Tai Chi for stress-free living. Nice. I've seen lately some people who do, or some advertisements or things on, is it Facebook? That are Tai Chi for fitness type things. All right, good night, Lori. Thanks for hanging out. My mom used to teach Tai Chi, fun fact. For ceiling fans, interesting. I can't say I've ever seen an ad for ceiling fans. Yeah, fully wrong timing. You gotta be ads for heaters and sweaters and warm things now. This week I gotta bring in some of my plants from the balcony, which is gonna be a bit of a pain. Some of them been out there for so long. The ivy will stay outside, but there's a fern out there and a whole bunch of night blooming jasmine, and they're gonna have to come inside. The one problem, most of the jasmine are in pots, but some of the smaller ones, I just planted in the eaves trough that I have for the ivy, just to get them rooted, and they are rooted and growing very healthily, but now I gotta tear them out of there and put them in a pot. So maybe tomorrow I will have to make a trip to Canadian Tire or Home Depot and get some nursery pots for some stuff that has to come in for winter. I'm hoping that winter will help me with my, a bit of a, I don't want to call it an infestation, but on the balcony, the ivy, quite a bit of aphids. I got a lot of black aphids. Black, blue, I don't remember what their distinction is. But little dark aphids that I've been trying to deal with, and I thought I had them pretty much handled before I went to Chicago. But I came back on from this trip, and there's a whole lot of them. They took advantage of me not checking on them every day while I was away. Night blooming jasmine smells the absolute best. It is the best smelling plant on the planet, in my personal opinion. I wish I was more reliable in getting mine to flower, because I only have three of my pots flowered on the last go around. It was only a few flowers, not a large flowering, so I'm hoping I can get them working a little bit better. How do I deal with mess when I move them in the house? It's a very good question. I just have plants everywhere when I get inside. Basically. I haven't genuinely thought too much about it. I know it's looming. It has to happen this week because there's a possibility that it'll freeze while I'm away. Hopefully it doesn't, but that was when many years ago, or I guess 2 years ago, I think, when last time I went to Germany, I had my giant Boston fern out on the balcony, and it only froze in Vancouver 1 week, and it was that week, and it froze, and I came home, and it was dead completely. So I'll bring in some of the plants. The ivy can handle the winter outside, but everything else will come in. I've heard ladybugs. I'm gonna look into it. I can't say I'm looking into it. I've read that, and I gotta see if I can get some. But if it's about to be winter, aren't all the ladybugs about to die or go away now anyways? I guess not go away. It's not like they go south for the winter. But aren't they not around for the winter time? In which case, nor should the aphids. I don't know if the aphids last the winter either. I should look that up. And then maybe I don't have to deal with it until spring. I don't think I want to use neem oil or anything like that. I'd rather not. I could though, I suppose. Yeah, maybe winter will wipe them out, and then I could get some ladybugs to get a jump on the spring. Perhaps. When I'm not in town, it's not hard for me to go out there. I just have like a little slightly stiffer bristled paintbrush, and I just go out there and brush them off. But as the vines get longer, that's going to be more and more challenging. But also, I mean, I don't want them to die. They are outside plants, so it's not the biggest deal. I know aphids live in nature, so I don't know. If I could localize the aphids to one plant, that could be fun. And then I could do if I had an ant farm, ants don't kill aphids, but I don't know if here's a fun ant fact for everybody. Certain types of aphid and certain types of ants, the ants will essentially raise the aphids like cattle, because the aphids create or excrete honeydew, essentially, sugar water. And that's what the ants eat. So the ants basically care for and protect these colonies of aphids, and they essentially milk them for food. Fascinating. I don't know what you're saying, Mum. Nature is amazing, Lene. I do agree. Milk them. But yeah, that's essentially what they do. Just like cows, just like we have cattle, ants have aphids. Thank you very much, GB Wool. That one? Thank you. I was actually thinking about this a while ago. I was trying to figure out, do aphids, or sorry, not aphids, would ants count as pets? I'm not allowed to have pets in my apartment building. But if I had an ant farm, does that count as pets? Is that against the rules too, do you think? I'm guessing yes, but it's just ants. What are they gonna do? So long as they don't escape. But it's not like I wouldn't get carpenter ants or anything. I like ants. For those who don't know, ants are basically my favorite creatures. I have been obsessed with ants since I was a little kid. Ants are dope. Oh yeah, I forgot. I was gonna do some Bartow signatures. Let's do some Bartow signatures. Yeah, I don't think the type of ants I'd get would be infesty kind, really, anyways. They would want to leave the apartment and go live in the dirt, in the soil somewhere. If I had carpenter ants or things like that, they would want to make a home in the apartment building, but... Alright. Bartow! Hiya! I guess we can just start at the top. We'll do that one. 'Cause why not? I've never started this entry stroke from the bottom here. I would always start it around right there. Let's give it a shot. H.J. Boland. Now, we don't have to this week because this isn't a dedicated Bartow signature stream, but if you guys have the PDF, it's either in the previous live stream description. If you don't already have it, it's not in this live stream description. If you have that one, if you want to see me take a swing, or if there's one that you want to talk through or that you really like, let me know what page it's on, and I can give it a shot. Let's figure out this entry stroke. It's kind of neat. We gotta stay high enough that the loop can still fit. Is that right? That's the right idea. Now let's get the shape better. still down here. Lower oval on that compound curve. Needs some work. That's better. Don't have room for the signature now, though. Anti-disestablishmentarianism? I can. Let me take a few more. Let me try to get this signature, and then I can do that after I get this signature done. Or if I get annoyed with the signature, take a break and do that. Now we go straight into the J, which is kind of fun. Figured out. So this has to come up straight a little bit longer before it curls over. Alright, sweet dreams, Kathy, and accidentally Steve. Once again, happy birthday anniversary to both of you. We'll see you next time. Oh, he also has a shade in this little oval that I'm forgetting about. Oops. Can't forget that. Wow, my ovals are all over the place, though. Why can't I get that to look good? Too slow. Relax, arm. We got too many hitches in the movement. It's because we haven't finished our hot chocolate, probably. Or because I drank tea earlier. That's probably not why, though. My hot chocolate is now just chocolate milk. That's okay. Chocolate water, I guess. Tastes like chocolate milk, but there's no milk in there. You should have hot chocolate one day. Hot chocolate's yummy. Oh wait, he didn't finish that way. I went on autopilot. H.J. Bolland. Anti-disestablishmentarianism. Now you say solely with whole arm movement. Does that mean you want to see the whole thing non-stop without, without stopping as well? Like all rapid movement? Because using arm movement technically, there are stops in there. Like this is movement writing if I did it this way. But there's lots of pauses in there. I'm assuming that's not what you're looking for. But that's still technically movement writing. I mean, that is how people do movement writing. Definitely not gonna make it to the end of the word with the space I have. Or am I? Anti-disestablishmentarianism. Without pen lifts. Oof. That's a long way to... We have to be whole arm. Unless, I guess I could write like so. To get all the way across the page. Normally I don't stretch that far. Does that include the A as well, if I did it all in lowercase? Whoops. See, I have to lift in the middle. Messy! I definitely hit grip partway through from my forearm. What if I had... Will that let me glide a little bit better? Because technically, I don't have the control in whole arm, but I could technically also do it. I won't be able to fit it all in screen. I guess I could zoom out a little bit. I don't have a lot of control doing business penmanship with whole arm movement. My forearm's always down, but I could technically do something like this. Oh, I gotta start closer over here. I'm not reaching as far. Nope. That just feels out of control with my forearm off the ground. I use whole arm for big flourishes, but not for writing. And I haven't trained to reach all the way across. Undoubtedly, there are people who could do it, but I don't know that I'm one of them. Oh, pen angle's out of control when I get way up there. See, now remember, with muscle movement, everything that I write on these streams, so even muscle movement doesn't mean no lifts. Like, just to go through sort of the terminology real quick. If my forearm is on the is on the table, that's still, so if I'm lifting and stopping, if I'm doing it like that, that is muscular movement. It's not whole arm movement. Whole arm movement is if I lift my forearm off the table, so it's full freedom. When my forearm is on the table, that's forearm movement, but both of those are with muscular movement. Because they're both, all that muscular movement means is the alternative. If my hand is like this and I'm writing like so, with my fingers, then that is more drawing, and it's not, each stroke doesn't have a flow or movement to it, so that would be not movement writing. But muscular movement or movement writing, it's not about what's, how many times the lifts are there or where the stops happen. Like, as an example, let's zoom back in again a little bit. As a quick example, if I do, say, just the lowercase n as a random example. Go back straight to the camera, there we go. If I do, say, lowercase n, if I do it like so, so no lifts, no stopping, that's muscular movement. But if I do it like this, that is also muscular movement. Or if I do an M and I stop twice, because the strokes themselves, while the pen is moving, while it's writing, or while the nib is writing, there's movement driving that writing, so it's movement writing. When you stop or when you lift, that's just stopping in the middle. That's all that makes movement writing. So to do this without stopping, for me, I would have to go whole arm movement, or it gets really messy, and I don't have the control for whole arm movement to do fine lowercase letters, because I use a forearm movement for my lowercase. And I would assume, in most books and whatnot, most writers would probably write about half. They'd probably go, they were doing business penmanship, maybe they'd stop about there, move the paper, and then continue. So, like, for me personally, I would break it up probably into thirds, or even maybe into fourths, if I was trying to go through it without, like with business penmanship, personally. Alright, Mom, good night. It's good that you have kitty responsibilities. Take good care of them. Lurk away, Ojaswini, lurk away. It's a chill one tonight. When I get back from Germany, we'll do some themed streams because I'll be home for a little bit. Or for longer. I'll be fishing for some ideas for some fun theme streams. I also want to do another guest stream, because it's been a while since we did the one with, my brain isn't working. Diego. Bruh. Wowzers. Brain's not working. Maybe I'll make a post on Instagram and see if people want to recommend or request guests. I could take guest requests. Obviously, it's up to that guest if they want to join me or not, but... Limmer, all of them lifted. Many of... No penman wrote consistently all the time without lifts. Especially in ornamental penmanship. Specifically business penmanship, they would go longer without lifting. But lifting was a very common thing, especially moving the page. Not a lot of people wrote from one side of the page to the other without stopping. They could do a word, like if you were writing a word like minimum or something, they would write that word without lifting. Then they would likely move the page. They wouldn't continue on from there. The page would move, they reset up, and they write the next word. So for anti-disestablishmentarianism, oh, there's an ad. For that long word, you would essentially break it down into palatable chunks. Because it's the whole point of movement writing is you're writing in what's comfortable. And some people can train a larger range and whatnot, but for the most part, you don't want the muscles to be moving in all different directions. You're basically training them to do the same little thing over and over and over and over again. But if I'm doing that this way, like this muscle here that's working when I'm doing just like these shapes to make these M's, that movement, if I go way over here and do those same M's, it's a completely different movement coming from my arm versus this. It's different muscles, or same muscles, but they're working in different directions. So that means in order to get good doing it that way, I have to train a large, so many different movements, and it's, I would say, near impossible. It's really, really hard to be consistent that way. So a lot of people would write in their 3 or 4 inch zone, and then move the page, 3 or 4 inch zone, move the page, 3 or 4 inch zone. A lot of the old books, you see exercises like this, that half the page. So that's sort of the range that people are training to get to the halfway point of the page, then they move the page and they write the second half. Unless they were using like a ledger or something like that was smaller pages, then they could go all the way across. But for the most part, I don't believe a lot of people are going all the way across without lifting their arm, repositioning, definitely lifting their pen. They did lift their pen. It was about speed. And then when you get into the world of like ornamental penmanship and whatnot, ornamental penmen lifted all the time. Like writing the word, say, ornamental, for example, like, yes, you could write it like this. And that's pushing the range of what I would do. I mean, I did lift on the T just because ornamental penmanship, it's in 2 strokes. But different penmen would do it in a different amount of lifts. Some penmen would lift, like if I was writing this, I would probably... Where would I lift naturally? Probably there, on the A. And there's definitely a lift on the L or on the T. And then there's always a lift on the ascender strokes, ascender loops. So like that, so there'd be lifts. But there's some penmen, if they were doing something that they wanted to be perfect, they would lift, and there's proof of this everywhere. They would do lift there, lift there. They could lift there, lift there, lift there. They probably wouldn't actually lift there. They choose to get their own precision where they lift. The big thing with lifting for me, if you're doing specifically business penmanship, the point of business penmanship is speed. So if you're faster without lifting, then by all means they would go without lifting. But it has to be super precise and super clean. If you're sacrificing cleanliness to not lift, then that sort of defeats the purpose of a really clean, precise business penmanship script. So the goal would be to write to summarize, the goal would be in business penmanship to write as much as you can without lifting, but, as I say, all the way across the page, unlikely. If you were writing, I don't imagine any penman in the world back in the day writing anti-disestablishmentarianism in one huge flow without stopping, because it's too long. I believe they would break it down, if not more than half, at least in half, probably in thirds or even more, to move their page. Most words aren't that long, so usually you can do it if you're doing business penmanship word by word by word by word. You just lift after every word and you're good to go. That gives you your reset the page, reset your arm, and good for the next word. Because they're not usually that crazy long. That's probably the best S of the day, potentially. I didn't cross at the midpoint, but that's okay. Smoothest ovals of the day. Probably. Why can't I do... It's just an angled figure 8. Why does it look so wonky? That's the shape I want. Thank you, Lene. It's my job to know this stuff. Or at least pretend I do. Well, I've read enough of the material. If I didn't know what I was talking about, I would usually preface something by saying, now this is just my thought, I don't actually know XYZ. One thing I wish I was better at would be specifically quoting like where I got certain information from. I've read so many books on penmanship over the years. I'm not great at remembering and citing sort of my sources where all that information came from. I don't have one of those brains that is able to remember facts like that. I just sort of remember the gist. I approach it like a dancer. I learn it and I feel it and then I teach it. Haha, nice, Skeet. Do you have a favorite penman, Skeet? You should look at like some of your if there's a penman who specifically has a style you like whether it's a Monteraz S or a Lupf. Like my favorite S's would probably be like Lupfer's S's. If do you have a favorite that you could grab one of theirs? That's all it is, Lene. I just fool you guys with the jargon. I just spit a whole bunch of penmanship nonsense and hope people believe me. Well, a while ago, somebody asked... Yeah, Lene asked, when are you back from Germany? I am back on... I believe I fly back on the 31st, on Halloween. I think. I might dress up on the plane. Is that ridiculous? I need to get a costume and dress up on the plane. I feel like I have to do it. I haven't dressed up for Halloween in a lot of years. It's been a while. But I feel like it'd be quite fun to put on not a full-on costume, but a silly little something. Mask or a something to wear on the plane. I'll have to look into that. I think I'm gonna bring some Canadian chocolate bars with me to share with people. It's pre-Halloween when I'm there, but still, share some Canadian chocolate with my friends there. That was not a bad one. Monteraz has a very distinct capital S as far as stylistically. He has a really nice one. Not my favorite, but it's a very, very nice one. It's very cool and very much his. Can I do a Monteraz S? I'm not great at Monteraz's S's, if I can pull this off. Nope. It's more abrupt of a compound curve, though, than a, like, Lupfer S, for example. Ish. That's not the... I'm getting this weird... My ovals are pointed down here. That one too, and I don't know why. This is true. I've never flown on a plane in like a suit or in really nice clothes. I'm not one of those travelers who wear sweatpants and whatnot, but I haven't dressed like fancy. That means I have to pack a dapper Victorian gentleman outfit though, and that requires like a garment bag and a whole lot of extra work. I don't know that I want to pack all that. Very involved. Why? My follow-through is weird shaped on my exit oval for some reason. Why is it not just an oval? I always say I don't wear sweatpants out of the house unless I'm on my way to it. If I'm teaching like a hip-hop class or something like that, then I'll wear sweatpants out of the house. That's pretty much it. But that's standard now, is sweatpants are like I don't think my nephew and even my nieces have a lot of sweatpants that are just day wear. They go to school. I feel like that wasn't a thing when I was younger. Now sweatpants are just part of fashion. It's weird. Very, very weird. That's a little smoother. That's looking better. Nope. Same thing. Why am I cutting it off like that? Habits are strange. I understand what you're saying, Lene, don't worry. Calling my letters sloppy. I need to get better at making this S. It's a neat one. That wasn't the idea. Oh, they get sloppy though. Sometimes I get sloppy just like everybody else when I write. Weird, I shouldn't have put that extra oval there. Not sure why I did. Should we do another Bartos signature? I guess we only did that one once. See if we can find another one that's fun. Let's see what else we can find in there to play with. Or I could just maybe we'll find another one that has that same entry oval. Oh, look at this. I kind of like these two. He has this really large H that's above the baseline, which is kind of neat. HD Arthur. But then he has a tiny little H that's also above the baseline. It's also kind of neat. I feel like I haven't noticed many penmen do that, have a letter that sits above the baseline that much. Fascinating. Ooh, that's a cool entry into the H. I'm gonna do that one just because the entry's neat. I know I said I was gonna look for one of the other entries, but I like this now. People go by, say if this is Henry David Rainey, if everybody knows him by David, then the Henry is minuscule up above. Oh, nice entry there too. And this beautiful parallel line over the H. Well done, Bartow. Not that you need me to say that. Alright, let's get these capitals here. H.G. Fremont. I just like that entry a lot. I need to carve another holder one of these days, I think. Any suggestions? What should I carve? I was thinking about a frog. A frog like hanging on to the pen. So it wouldn't be sitting on the top, it would just be hanging on, and then there would be pen that sticks up after it, like a branch or whatnot. Or potentially a snail crawling up the side of the holder, potentially the side of the tail. But I'm open to suggestions. I gotta get back in the habit of carving. Yeah. It'd be cool. You just mentioned straw. It made me think of, I don't think I'd be able to carve one because I don't have the tools. It'd be neat to have a hollow holder. I don't know why. There'd be no purpose. Can I think of a purpose? Hollow holder. Oh, a squirrel would be cute. That was rough. Oh, it's a Q, not a G. Whoops. That goes into the... Okay. So that didn't work at all. That's the right idea. We just gotta get more into our capital C stroke there. Okay. Noted. I feel like if I did a squirrel, I would want it to be sitting on something. Or how would a squirrel... Would it be hanging on to the holder? Or would it be sitting like on top of the end of the holder, like holding an acorn or something, with its tail going down the back? But then what would it be sitting on? Why is there something that a squirrel sits on the end of the holder? I always wonder about things like that. There's things that I always want to carve, like I want to carve a Lego man at the end of one of the holders. But I'm always like, well, why is the Lego man just chilling on the top of the holder? That doesn't make any sense. Like the octopus makes sense because it's like grabbing on to the end of the holder, so it makes sense. The little frog makes sense. Certain things are just there, and they don't have to make sense. But there's a part of me that wants them to make sense. Oh, that's a neat idea. So like a little branch would come out, and then it would be sitting on the branch and its tail would go back this way. Intriguing. You guys ever heard of beacorns? I wish I could remember the guy on Instagram's name. There's a guy on Instagram who makes these little characters. He calls them beacorns. I'm pretty sure is what they're called. He makes little characters out of acorns, and he does beautiful photography with them and like chipmunks and squirrels and birds and stuff like that. But he makes these little tiny little dudes, these little characters, and dresses them up and makes clothes for them and arms and poses them and everything. And they're so cute. They're adorable. So much life and yeah, so cute. How I can get so much life into just an acorn. I find very, very fascinating. Beacorns, they're called. But I don't remember what his Instagram channel is, unfortunately. Okay, we're losing a lot of flow in this age because we're slowing down too much and we're overthinking it. Nope. Flowier. That's what we want. Just like that. Now come out of that compound curve and do that same thing. Yeah, that's the idea. Now just a little bit closer together. And we talk. This also has to be more abrupt of a compound curve. Coming out of the H. Or out of the entry oval, I guess. Better. Not far enough apart. That's the idea. Forgot to shade the Q. That's okay. We'll get it on the next one. The characters in your game. What game are you playing, Lene? Are you playing like Animal Crossing or something like that? I'm trying to think of games that have characters that talk about muffins. You should make muffins. That sounds like a wonderful plan. That's so, yeah, like, that feels so weird to write it like that, but that's how abrupt that compound curve is that he does. Ish. Feels bizarre, but, I mean, that's what I like about it, so. Okay, and then we have to flow right into that Q shade. I'm playing Homescapes. I am not familiar with Homescapes. Flow coming out of that doesn't feel like I want it to. Fremont. Whoa. Why did I dig in? Whoops. Not bad. Not bad. It's a match 3 game with a storyline, exploration, and decorating. Fun. This does not require timed dashes across treacherous terrain while slaughtering alien invaders. I'm guessing that was the last game you played? You hold animosity against alien invaders and treacherous terrain dashes? I just want to go into an entry every time coming out of that H. And not straight into a Q. Not enough flow. Let's try one whole arm and see how that goes. Flow from the H to the Q feels better in slow-mo. Ferrero Rocher. I mean, Christmas is coming, I guess. We're getting into the Ferrero Rocher season. We were talking about chocolate as well. Okay, we need to go a little higher on the Q shade. They don't move like a gymnast. You just gotta play a game that has good movement physics that work for the way your brain wants them to. I agree, chocolate craving is never ending. That's very true. So these are, yeah, the transition from the H to the Q definitely feels better whole arm than forearm, unfortunately. I wish my forearm was more comfortable doing transitions like that. Better. I think I last had Ferrero Rocher probably last Christmas, even maybe, if not like 2 Christmases ago. It's been a minute. H.G. Fremont. Fun. Ah, Ferrero. Ferrari should make a red and gold themed Ferrero Rocher collab. The Ferrari Rocher. Fun. I feel like it's a missed opportunity, the fact that they have never done it. Personally, Ferrari, I would buy a Ferrari Rocher. Personally. Shit. How's it going, Carl? Sorry to keep you up. My apologies. a little die-cast car, a little die-cast Ferrari in the Ferrari Rocher bundle, I think would be wonderful. It'd be a gold and red vehicle, gold and red wrapper. It's perfect. It's marketing genius. Hire me, Ferrari. Shout out, Ferrari. Not sponsored, clearly. Broom, broom. I don't know if we're gonna make it to midnight tonight, Lene. I am feeling sleepy-ish. Last Tuesday, however, I will say though, I forgot to mute my alarm, and I was asleep, because I went to bed quite early when I was in Chicago. This was after Chicago, staying at a buddy of mine's, and I was dead asleep, and all of a sudden, super, super loud. I felt terrible. Luckily, the person I was staying with, their room was far enough away that it didn't wake them up, which was nice. I felt bad. It took me a second. It was like, what's happening? Panic. All this noise. Oh, just gonna come in here and say, what? As per usual. Yeah, it was quite shocking when the alarm went off. I completely forgot that it was set to turn on. And then I had to go into my phone and make sure I turned off, because here in Vancouver, all the lights would have been doing their own thing, as they do, because I didn't turn off all the automations and everything. So I had to go into my phone and ensure the black light was off and all that jazz. Silly, silly. Yep, definitely woke the plants up from their slumber. Sorry, plants. I think they can handle it. Oh, that looks like an A. Whoopsies. Ending T looks like an A. I guess I gotta be cautious about that. I use that variation of the T. Can't have it too open. A lot of P's. That's how you make your uppercase A? Like so. Too hooked on top. Make that subtle. Yeah, I don't think you're alone there. I think a lot of people made tweaks to the Palmer method caps. I'm personally not a huge fan of the business penmanship capitals. I mean, they're nice, and I get why they're the standard for that style of writing, but not a huge fan. Whoops, that's not supposed to go that way. Doesn't loop in business penmanship, whether I like the way it looks or not. Hey, that's good. Compliments are always great. Desk is too close to my other desk today. My page doesn't fit in between them like it usually does. Ta-da! My other... Yeah, so... It's not technically a desk, I guess. It's kind of a desk. In front of... So I have my writing desk is here, the small little one. In front of that is a narrow, just like... It's about 12 inches deep. And slightly longer than my desk. My desk can sort of partially slide under it. That holds, like, my computer and my monitors, and it's what the whole... camera apparatus and everything is attached to. All that used to be attached to my writing desk, but not anymore. That's all attached to that desk now. So it's not technically a desk, but it is-ish. It's like a narrow table that holds all, yeah, like my laptop and all my supplies that I don't want on my writing desk, because my writing desk is pretty tiny. It's itty bitty. Doesn't have a lot of excess real estate. The last sips of chocolate milk. Console table. That's the word I needed. Yes. It is a console table. It is slightly higher than my desk. So like I said, my desk can sort of partially slip under it. That's where all my cable box that holds the cables and the foiling tool and extra monitors and currently a whole bunch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 jars of ink live in the one side. Whole bunch of nibs. All that stuff lives in front of me on my console table. But on that note, everybody, I think we are going to end here today. This was a fun one. I can't believe it's been a whole month. Sorry that we're not going to midnight, but I'm tired and I'm sleepy and I have an early morning tomorrow. So we're going to cut it here. It's been a fun one. Also, currently, not that this is bad, but I'm just having a chat with Lene. We got a lot of lurkers in the room right now, which is always okay. Oh, Hero just when he is to type her what before we end the stream, obviously. Yeah, exactly. There it is. Yippers. Don't come on me. I'm tired. It's been a long day. Do a lot of office work today. No stream next week. The stream after that. Is it 2 weeks that I'm gone? Unless we potentially do something from Germany, we'll see. No promises, but I'll see what I can potentially get cooking. Obviously, regardless, it won't be a late night live when I'm there because I won't have black lights and all that stuff set up. Lene has definitely been holding it down over here. That is true. I'm going to work out some themes and some fun ideas for streams coming up when I'm home from Germany, so we can dive back into. I'll be not traveling for a time, so that I won't miss so many back to back. Thank you very much, everybody, for hanging out with me today. Be sure that you are falling in love with the process. enjoy this world of penmanship that we love so much. And don't forget, everybody, that life should be just a bit of silliness, really. See you on the next one. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks again. And stream.